Let's skip the motivational bullshit. Procrastination isn't laziness, it's self-defense. Understand the defense mechanism and your behavior finally makes sense. Understand the cost and your unwanted behavior finally loses its charm. Defense mechanisms are psychological armor, not against danger, but against the humiliation of trying and falling short. Procrastination is the armor that keeps judgment away by keeping action away. If you thought I was gonna talk about 5 hacks to destroy procrastination, you're simply in the wrong video. I'm going to talk about the why behind the delay of work, why the stalling feels safer than starting, why a bright mind like yours, full of potential, is stuck telling himself, I'm just gonna do it later. I think everyone wants to feel that they are in control. However, agency has a fragile core. Expectations. Whenever you set a goal, your mind instantly and silently generates a prediction. And if the results and the prediction has a gap, that gap will burn you. In rare cases, even success can hurt when it misses the fantastical expectations. William James actually made this into an equation. Self-worth feels like success divided by expectations. If this is inflated, even amazing progress will feel small to you. Whenever our self-worth is threatened, we direct attention outward. Social evaluation suddenly gets a lot more central in your mind. A bruised self scans everywhere for criticism, hears silence as judgment, and treats every task as a social test. Depression, loneliness, and withdrawal don't just sap energy, they distort your risk perception. Before you know it, the ordinary becomes dangerous, the doable, impossible. So the brain proposes a bargain. Delay the work. Don't study yet. Don't start working out. Wait until January. Don't enter the dating market before you have everything figured out. If failure comes, just blame timing or the world. Just don't blame your talent. We can call this learned helplessness. The fundamental idea behind all of this behavior is that effort feels controllable, but ability feels determined. Failing at full effort carries a dangerous realization. Maybe your ceiling really is low. That's the wound procrastination is built to avoid. And you can see this pattern everywhere. The student who's gonna study tomorrow. The artist who never declares a painting finished because the version in his mind is still perfect. The entrepreneur who lives in pre-launch. The musician who keeps experimenting with sound and never books his first gig. Every story rhymes. Keep the dream untested. Keep the self unharmed. Obviously, you're not alone in this. Even I think like this from time to time. And history books are crowded with talent that stalled. Charles Darwin sat on natural selection for 2 decades, terrified of the earthquake it would cause in the world and in himself. Michelangelo delayed and revised the tomb of Julius II for years, chasing a version that only existed in imagination. Franz Kafka wanted his manuscripts burned. Perfectionism, fear of evaluation, a devotion to the ideal over the actual. It's different masks, but the exact same defense. Underneath all of this sits a group of biases that make the delay feel rational. Short-term bias, overvalue relief now and undervalue payoff later. The future isn't real anyways, so why not? The brain overestimates how much effort will hurt and underestimates how fast it eases once you actually start. The pleasure principle favors constant quick fixes, scrolling, snacking, shopping, because improving how you feel right now tricks the mind to think that you're making progress. This reminds me of the quote that says, "The road to hell is paved with good intentions." And there's also the mindset problem. A fixed mindset treats ability as determined and biological, things you cannot change, of course. In contrast, a growth mindset treats ability as a trajectory. If ability is a verdict, maximum effort during a test is dangerous because the results looks final. So minimal effort becomes a shield. This is important for the mind because then your made-up story remains intact. I could have done better. That's how the ego is protected and the future sacrificed. Even worse, repeated setbacks train the body to expect failure. With enough failures, the body hesitates before the mind even notices. That's when you know learned helplessness is internalized. Tasks feel heavy not because of actual difficulty, but because of history. Think about that exam you keep postponing. You have two choices. Show up early, study hard, and risk learning something painful about your current ability. Or push the start time and keep the story intact. The same logic governs creative work, first dates, gym memberships, and difficult conversations with important people in your life. Delay preserves identity. Action updates it, and updates are scary. Procrastination also thrives on distorted time. The start will feel like a wall, the middle feels like the wind, and the end feels like Judgment Day. The mind registers only the sharp pain near the start, not the smoother rhythm that usually arrives 10 minutes in. That first 10 minutes is everything. People who know how painful it is to start at something and do it anyway aren't braver than you. They just learned that the pain curve is a liar. Now the picture is clear for you. It all starts with the fact that humans crave control over outcomes. This is the agency part. Control props up self-worth. Self-worth rests on the balance between outcomes and expectations. Effort raises expectations. Higher expectations raise the perceived risk. Lack of effort provides a ready excuse. Lack of ability feels like a death sentence. So the system selects delay, not because you're lazy, but because the self is precious and pain averse. Sigmund Freud said this 100 years ago. And the irony is vicious. The shield that guards the self also prevents the self from growing into something that no longer needs the shield.